Hi guys, this is Erica from Gokce Capital. Now before I begin, be sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Daisy wanted to repair her siding, but to do so, she needed access through her neighbor's yard. And when she asked for permission, her neighbor said no. So what can you do when your neighbor isn't neighborly? We'll find out at the end of this video. But first, like Daisy, you may live in a zero lot line house. And in today's video, we have the top things you need to know about these structures. Number 1, what is a zero lot line house? A zero lot line house is a residential property that comes up to or lies on one or more of the home's property lines. Number 2, what are the most common types of zero lot line houses? Row houses and townhouses are two of the home typologies that may most often come to mind. Another example is a patio home, which occurs in a more suburban context and is a home that is right against one or more of the property's side yard lines. Number 3, what are the advantages of a zero lot line house? First, you have a standalone structure. Zero lot line properties are an in-between option. They aren't quite as communal as an apartment, and they aren't quite as private as a traditional detached single-family home. That said, they still give you the freedom to have a standalone structure and garden, depending on the style of the zero lot line property that you've selected. You're also able to maximize living space. This is because zero lot line homes maximize interior space at the expense of exterior. And because the yard space is often reduced, you will have a lower cost, lower maintenance yard. Number 4, what are the disadvantages of a zero lot line home? First of all, you have little development potential. Zero lot line houses have almost always built up to the full allowable footprint. So unless you are adding another story to the house, you won't have much room to build a new addition. You will also have limited outdoor space. Again, zero lot line homes maximize interior space at the expense of exterior. Depending on the type of zero lot line home, you may have some design restrictions. For example, you may not be able to install windows or air vents on one side of the home. And finally, you may hear more noise in a zero lot line home compared with a detached single-family residence. Having said this, they do still tend to provide more privacy than apartments or condos. Number 5, how do zero lot line homes work with zoning? Well, for those of you who have some familiarity with zoning regulations, you may be thinking, wait a minute, aren't there always setback requirements in zoning codes? And yes, in many jurisdictions, zoning prohibits zero lot line homes by imposing setback requirements. But the more built up an area, the more likely it is that you will see certain zoning districts that do allow townhomes or row houses or other zero lot line typologies. And number 6, how do you know if this kind of home is for you? Well, here are a few things to consider. Do you live in an expensive area or one where there is not much land available? Do you have a family and need a large interior space? In a similar vein, do you desire a lot of house space? Do you not want to maintain a yard, or are you elderly? Do you want a sense of community? Are you okay with a little bit of noise? And do you not mind ceding some control over design features? If any of these sound like you, then maybe a zero lot line home is right for your family. But let's return to Daisy's predicament. Daisy's Florida home is in a zero lot line neighborhood. This means that one side of her house was constructed right up to the property line, and to complete any work on this side of the house would require using the neighbor's yard for access. This had never seemed like an issue to Daisy before, until she wanted to touch up the siding on her home. She and her husband spoke with their neighbor about the work, and to their surprise, were denied access. As it turns out, the neighbor had a good reason to do so, for when Daisy called the county sent an inspector to the property and uncovered an illegal shed, fence, and deficiency on the neighbor's land. The county forced the neighbor to remove these structures, but did not enforce Daisy's request for access to the neighbor's side yard. When Daisy followed up with the county, the zoning commissioner told her there was nothing he could do about her predicament. So Daisy was where she started out, except now her neighbor was furious. So what could Daisy do? She can't force her neighbor to give her access, can she? Well, as it turns out, she can. Daisy reached out to a local news program that offers legal advice to homeowners. According to the channel's legal expert, the law gives Daisy, as a zero-lot line homeowner, the right to access 4 feet of her neighbor's property in order to maintain her home. The same news channel sent a letter to Daisy's neighbors, informing them that if they did not give Daisy access, she would sue them, and if she won, they would be responsible for Daisy's legal fees. That apparently did it, for the next day, Daisy's contractor was able to get to work, which is a good example of the kinds of issues that can face owners of zero-lot line buildings. While there are laws that can help mitigate some of these issues, they won't relieve the headache of a neighborly spat. So you may want to get to know your neighbors before buying a zero-lot line house. Now, do you have any stories about zero-lot line properties? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Finally, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email, call, or text, and we will respond as soon as possible. So thank you for listening, and more to come.